Hey guys, I wanted to talk about some of the loneliness that can come from deciding to be an artist or drawing or anything like that. Like, for example, if I were to draw like some sort of pirate or something, well, the way I draw is going to be very specific. There's going to be all these little lines that I like to do, all these little texture changes that I'll do, maybe certain eyes, certain mouths, certain noses, a certain perspective. And, those little intricate details, like, you kind of want to talk to people about them because they are yours. Like, they are, and when I say yours, I don't mean that no one else can do stuff like that. But what I do mean is that they're yours in the sense that they're kind of precious to you. They're important to you, like these little tiny details. But when you talk to someone about them, it can kind of be so narrow and so specific and so yours that there's no space for them to actually connect with what you're saying. Now, if they are also another artist, like, it's possible, it's possible that they can actually see what you're doing and why it would be important to you, because they are also another artist, so they will be able to understand the wanting to show your own specificity in the way you draw. But even then, if they can't really see the value in it, so if they're not someone who actually likes your art style, like deep down, like liking art styles is so specific, it's so personalized, like you're not going to like everyone's art style. Doesn't mean it's not well done or anything. It could be competent, but that doesn't mean you subjectively like it, right? And at least in my experience, like someone who actually legitimately likes like what you make in a very subjective way, like they can hold a conversation with you when it comes to those things. But it's very hard to find, and I don't know why, but I just find myself kind of yearning for someone to like take interest in that way when it comes to like forming connection. And I do feel like it is a lot to ask in a certain way, but at the same time I don't mind waiting for that. Like, I don't mind not getting that for a while, but I do want to stay open in the sense that it could happen, that there might be like people that are not just artists but like similar artists to me, and that they'll arrive in my life and we'll be able to have these like really complicated conversations that are also like incredibly like specific. And they don't need to be like me or anything like that, but it just would be nice to have those kind of connections where we're both interested in each of each other's, like we're both interested in each other's like specificity in terms of how we draw and what we like to draw. Because personally, I really do think it's pretty hard to come by. Like, I don't think you can actually connect with like every artist out there. Everyone has preferences, everyone has specific things they want from connection. And this is just one of my things, I'm sure there's heaps of artists out there who are like, you know what, I don't really care for that. Like, I do art, but I don't actually want to connect in that way in terms of art. Like, art is just for me, or it's something I produce, and it's just a relationship I have with myself. But for me, I do kind of enjoy at least articulating my own specific preferences. But every time I do it, I do feel like it just misses. And maybe this is something that's supposed to just be mine and only mine. Because there are things in life that are just yours. Like, just you as an individual. And it's not to be shared in the sense that, it's just yours. Like, certain things are just yours. Kind of like in the way that your home or your emotions are just yours. Like your space is just yours for the most part. Like, that idea of like, not everything has to be connected to other people, but I do find myself kind of yearning for that. I do find myself wanting that, and just being able to like blab about it and actually getting a response where the other person genuinely gets what I'm saying and why it means so much to me. And yeah, personally, I haven't really found that kind of response. I don't really know where to find it. I've gone to like certain artist circles and stuff like that. And maybe I'm self-hiding too much, or maybe it's just too much of an ask, or maybe I just need to wait. And the conclusion I've come to is just waiting. Because in a sense, what I'm asking for is a lot. Like even in that other video that I made about like trying to find like the perfect show that that resonates internally, like that is asking a lot from the world. And I feel like this is also just another example of me asking a lot for it. And what's required is, I think, the exact same solution that I said in that other video, which is just patience. Like, you want to like have the desire for something like that to exist, if it does exist, and you want to keep your hopes up in a way where if it does come along, that you can actually see it and you can receive it. Because if you are just being completely negative, then if it does arrive, you might just dismiss it because you just assume that it's too good to be true. So you'll like self-sabotage in a certain way. So I think it's important to be open, but then at the same time understand that being open means you're going to be frustrated with the fact that it probably won't be reciprocated, and that it's perhaps worthy to kind of stay in that frustration without it hurting you. Like, you can be frustrated but not have it like burn you. Like, frustration is just kind of like this, the searing fire that can it can incinerate you. But there is also a way where frustration can just turn into just a genuine wanting of, like, this isn't it, but like it doesn't mean anything that I can't find it, but I am going to stay open to it and make sure that flame stays alive, because I don't want to like dampen it out. But keeping that flame alive means that one has to have patience. So it's just something I'm wanting. It's something that I find myself yearning for, and it feels like something that's very valuable, at least for myself. And I do want to always stay open to things that I want. And at the same time, just not be so attached to it that I end up hurting myself because the wanting's too much. So just finding that balance, that really good balance of wanting things, but then at the same time understanding that the thing that I want is a tall order to ask from the world. And therefore, if it is going to arrive, I just have to, just be patient. Just be patient that the thing that I want will come, or maybe it won't come, and that's like okay as well. But just staying open to the possibility is the important thing, and understanding that just doing that is enough, and that is exactly what I'm meant to do. So that's just my opinion on, I guess, the type of connections I'm looking for and what I think is important. And I don't know, like, do fellow artists want this? Is this something that they find themselves also yearning for? Is this like also a frustration of theirs? Like, do you guys relate in any way, or am I just on like a lone island? Please comment below, because I am very curious. Okay, that's all I have for this one. Thank you for listening.